Welcome to Dangerous Ideas with Dino. I'm here with the man himself, Steve Burley, from Season 7 of MAFS. We're going to break it down. What's going on with MAFS this season? We're going to talk about it. Steve-O, you fired up or what?
Yeah, mate. I'm a little bit jacked off, to be quite frank. I think what's going on with Bryce and everything else. I mean, I'm going to put it blunt like this. If it wasn't for Bryce, how many people would be watching Season 8 of MAFS? Nobody, because it would be boring as batshit. It really would be, and the producers are loving that fact, Dino, because at the end of the day, it's only because of Bryce that the show or anybody's watching it and talking about it. Let's face it.
Exactly. We're going to break it all down for you right now on Dangerous Ideas with Dino. All right. This season of Married at First Sight is airing right now. If you don't know what's going on, the main storyline is a guy called Bryce and his wife, Melissa. And, you know, they've been getting along quite well as far as I can see. You know, there's a few issues here and there, and he kind of got called out for potentially having a secret girlfriend back outside the experiment by this girl, Beck. That started this huge kind of argument, and it's been the running storyline throughout the whole season. And the crazy thing is, look, I don't like to speculate about what happens on the show because I know the producers and the tricks and everything that goes on. What I want to talk about is the reaction to what's been happening on the show and how Bryce has been completely demonized. There's talk of like sexual assault, rape culture, all these other kind of crazy words, and like domestic violence has been thrown around all over a TV show. What do you think about that?
Mate, I'm extremely frustrated by it, to be quite honest. I think there was an episode recently that was aired where Bryce leant over and kissed somebody. I can't remember her name. Is it Beck, is it?
Yeah.
I think it was Beck. And apparently I've read somewhere, and I've read it quite clearly, I want him to be charged with assault because he's kissed her. Like, come on. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I think we got the scene here. We're just going to have a quick look at it while we talk about it. But yeah, like they're in an argument and like, you know, these guys aren't really getting along. And what Bryce did, like, I don't really condone it. I think it was a bit inappropriate, but it wasn't like rape. It wasn't sexual assault as far as I'm concerned. I mean, look, 10, 20 years ago, something like that happened, you wouldn't hear of it again.
No,
like
he got up. I think he got up and he shook Jake's hand, and then he went to Jake's wife and gave her a kiss on the cheek. He gave her a kiss on the cheek. So that's, from now on, don't be kissing anyone on the cheek.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, man. That's like, right now, and look, I don't want to undermine anyone's experience with sexual assault or anything like that. And you know, I got total respect for people that stand up for themselves when they've been assaulted or when something terrible has happened to them. But everyone coming out in the media and saying, this is sexual assault, this is domestic violence, him kissing her is, you know, this huge thing that he needs to be charged over. You know the problem with that, dude? When a real situation of sexual assault comes up next time, who's going to believe that person?
Yeah, exactly.
So if you've seen that on TV and that's been thrown around as, oh, that's sexual assault, leaning over and kissing someone on the cheek, although I don't condone it, I don't think it's sexual assault, and I don't think it's got anything to do with rape culture. So there's a couple of still frames I want to bring up in a minute from the So Dramatic podcast. Megan Passetto, it's like a gossip website / podcast, and they love to bash men on there. It's always about the big evil men. Don't get me wrong, they've not mentioned anything about how Coco cheated and blatantly lied to everyone, but whatever. It's all about it's all about bashing the men. But they brought up this post on their story where here it is here. Let's have a little read of this. So, normalizing violence perpetuates violence. 7,000 people have agreed in 2 days and counting. So this right here is a petition that someone has started to, what does it say there? Can you bring up the actual petition, Paulie? This is a post from this podcast, but it's about this petition where someone started a petition where they want to get Channel 9 to apologize or something for displaying this relationship on TV. So here it is here. Make the 9 network apologize for failing duty of care. Bryce and Melissa MAFS. And like people are talking about getting the show taken off air. Look, the other thing for me is, again, I don't want to speculate what's going on behind closed doors between those two. Apparently they're still together, and apparently they love each other. So I don't see how that's such a big problem. And I don't see, like, people are trying to get the show taken off air over that. And I'm just like, you know, calm down. Yeah, the producers are assholes. Yeah, a lot of crazy shit goes down, but it's a TV show. There's always cameras around. No one's ever in any danger.
No, absolutely not. No one's in any danger. But can I just say, on previous series, I think I've heard this before, it's a little bit like a stuck record.
Yeah.
Every season needs to be taken off air.
Yeah.
And you know what? In 3 or 4 weeks, a lot of this will be forgotten about, and everyone will just move on with their lives. I think, like I said previously, at the end of the day, if it wasn't for Bryce and Melissa right now, Endemol Shine or Channel 9 wouldn't be too happy with what's going on because, you know, it's pretty boring stuff.
Yeah. Bring up, Paulie, can you bring up, there's another still from the other, I gave you 2 stills. There's another one I want to bring up and talk about. This is disturbing to me. And again, I don't want to undermine anyone's actual experience with sexual assault. Okay, let's read this comment. Can we zoom in a little bit? Failing to consent to what? Sexual harassment. Why is this website language so sympathetic to the perpetrator, Bryce, who is constantly glorified by this website, regardless of his behavior today? They were laughing at him, gaslighting Melissa, and the complaints made to have him taken off TV like it's some big joke, whilst downplaying the victim suffering. That is why victims are scared to report abuse. That is perpetuating rape culture. This is disgusting. Do better. Now look at the photo in there. This is about that kissing incident. So this is from the So Dramatic podcast, and they're saying that someone leaning over and kissing someone on the cheek is perpetuating rape culture. Now, I don't know about you, I think putting the word rape in the same sentence as that incident and trying to lump those two together is ridiculous. It's undermining actual rape victims, and I think it's insane. I think it's another example of how the world is just getting way too sensitive. And look, and don't get me wrong, I wasn't there. Maybe it was inappropriate, and maybe Beck has every right to be offended. Maybe something else went down that I didn't see. But from what I saw in that edit, it was someone leaning over and kissing someone on the cheek.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? What's wrong with that?
Well, I can't see that there's anything wrong with it, Dean. Like I said, I can't see there's anything wrong with it. And like I suggested, if there's individuals out there that are thinking about kissing people on the cheek, well, then just maybe think twice. But why should we think twice? Yeah. Why should we think twice about greeting somebody or in jest? Because I think that's what Bryce was doing, to be quite honest, a little bit.
Yeah.
It was a bit of fun, a little bit of tongue-in-cheek. You know, he went to shake Jake's hand and said, "You're the king of the experiment," or something, and then went over to his wife and went to kiss on the cheek. It was all a bit of fun. If that was classed as some sort of, you know, sexual assault or rape or something, mate, that's just ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. And like, I don't think Bryce should have done that. I'm going to be clear right now. I don't think he should have done that. But it's like it's been blown way, way, way out of proportion. Like, I think the whole idea of that being anything to do with rape culture is absolute insanity. And now you've got another guy from the show. What's the guy that Chris? I think his name was. He got kicked off pretty early, or he left pretty early. Apparently, he's up on like drug charges and like trafficking drugs or something. And there's like a few other crazy stories that have come out of it. It's like, really, someone leaning over and kissing someone on the cheek? That's the biggest problem that you have in the world right now.
Yeah, well,
really?
That's the first I've heard about that. I don't know who the individual is regarding the drug issues and all that. I don't think it's Chris, because I'm not sure there was a Chris on this year. But like, yeah, for me, I don't think, like, I think it's being blown out a massive, massive proportion. And it just concerns me as an individual, as a male, to be quite honest, that me moving forward, I just feel that we're in a position where we got to be watching everything that we do. Just everything that we do, everything that we do now, in terms of are we doing something that's appropriate or inappropriate? Yeah, it just concerns me for a male.
Exactly. And I'll tell you right now, ladies, it's on you now to make the first move. Apparently, this is what's happening in Scandinavian countries. Men are scared to make the first move. Men are scared to approach women. Men are scared to make a pass at a woman or talk to a woman at a bar, because that can be considered sexual assault. And it's just getting to the point where that's kind of happening in Australia. Like, I would feel uncomfortable just, using the wrong word. Like, you used to call each other love or, hey, love, how are you? Like, you can't just go, hey, love, what are you up to? That's like sexual harassment.
It's like today. I was driving into Sydney today, and I was thinking to myself about the situation, Dean. And I call everyone darling. Yeah. I like, all right, darling, thanks, darling. If I go to a shop, 7-Eleven, buy something, thanks, darling, whatever. Yeah. Like now, I'm concerned by me saying that, because if I use that word, are people going to say, well, you shouldn't be using that word? You're calling me darling when we don't know each other.
Yeah.
It's just really, really concerning for me.
Yeah, it's a big concern, man. And like I got thrown over hot coals like a few weeks ago because I talked about the online dating app Bumble and how they are bringing in rules where a person can be kicked off the platform for like body shaming or saying something nasty to someone, which, look, people took that the wrong way too. I wasn't saying that body shaming should be encouraged. I was just saying that, like, little by little in our society, whether it's like, a TV show getting cancelled, like Chris Lilly's show got cancelled because that offended a few like Pacific Islander people, fair enough. Like Coon Cheese getting cancelled, I never really liked that name. People are trying to cancel Gay Time. Like, each individual one of those things you can sort of see has a point. I'm not arguing too much with each individual one of those things, but slowly but surely we are losing our rights to say and think however we want to think. And like, that's not that I want to be bigoted or I think that body shaming should be like encouraged. It's just like, where does the line stop? I think the world's getting way too sensitive. Like, I just think our whole society is just going soft. I think we're losing our masculinity in general. Even on this season of MAFS, like, all the men are kind of quite sort of feminine. Masculinity is just completely discouraged now. Like, you're not kind of... Anything masculine is now considered toxic masculinity.
Yeah, it is, absolutely. And I feel that it's just become, like what Dean says, it's just becoming to a situation where we as individuals, we as men, need to be extremely careful, and we're constantly thinking about what we can and can't say all the time moving forward. And you can't judge or label every individual or every male for what has perhaps gone on in the past with a minority of males.
Yeah, exactly. And there's this whole thing going around at the moment. It's like, some people, I guess, their argument to that is, well, not all men. And then like the hardcore feminists want to come back and say, oh, look, we know it's not all men. Like, yeah, but like we need to like be careful and like we need to treat all men as if they are dangerous. It's like, look, again, I don't know what it's like to be a woman. And obviously men are bigger and stronger usually. So look, again, I'm all for any laws that, protects women more against actual creeps.
100%.
What I'm against is this just general sentiment against men. There's a general vibe that men are bad, men are evil, especially straight white men. Oh my God, like it's almost like a crime just to be a straight white man these days. Like,
and that's concerning, Dean. Mean, that's a concerning thing for us as individuals, going through our lives and trying to enjoy our lives and stuff like that. And you said now, where you go into bars in Scandinavia, I think you said, where people, if they're approaching individuals in a bar, that can be classed as sexual harassment and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah, no, it's not that. It's that those countries are so like progressive and forward thinking and so politically correct that it's gotten to the point where men over there are just too scared to go up and talk to women. Yeah. So in all bars and all like romantic situations, it's now left up to the woman to make the first move. And like, fair enough, that works for some people. I know a lot of women that is not going to work for. Yeah. And I know a lot of women that actually hate these ridiculous rules and laws and sentiments and language that we're not allowed to say anymore. So many women, and most of them aren't actually like able to say it out loud, and they're too scared of being ridiculed or whatever. But I get a lot of messages from women on my Instagram saying, Dean, thank you for standing up against some of this ridiculous feminist, politically correct bullshit. Someone needs to stand up against this stuff. And yeah, I've seen the worst of it. Like, I copped so much bullshit from crazy feminists and whatnot when I was on TV, and accusations of stuff that I never did. That's why that's why I sort of feel for Bryce. Like, again, I don't agree with some of the things he's done, but don't use the word rape or sexual violence in that situation. Like, this guy has a family. I had a family, and people were saying that about me. My sister had to hear words like that associated with me when I would never, ever, ever do anything like that. And to be associated with something like that is just disgusting. And like, yes, I know women have had a hard time, in the past. And, there's still some issues that we need to sort out, and our society should always be moving forward. But I think we also need to be careful about where it goes, how it goes, demonizing individuals, demonizing men as well, demonizing men as a whole. Like, I think we saw that in America. Like, the Me Too movement, obviously needed to happen, and a lot of good things happened, and a lot of bad people got, punished for bad things. But then it kind of went too far. Like, Aziz Ansari, that comedian, like tiny little like Indian dude, like at the height of it, he got accused of like sexual assault or whatever. He was on a date with a girl, and they had very consensual like oral sex like 10 times, and he did nothing wrong. But because she came out and said, oh, that made me feel uncomfortable, he got cancelled. His life was ruined. He was like a massive comedian, had his own TV show. He was killing it, and now he's pretty much being cancelled. His life was ruined because some girl said she was uncomfortable for a little bit. When, if you look at the text messages and what went down, like nothing wrong happened.
Yeah.
So it is a concern.
I want to go back to
touchy subject.
I want to go back to what you said about Bryce and Melissa, just quickly. Obviously, the show is obviously pre-recorded. It's obviously on TV. So I just want to give you some sort of outline. I went to Melissa's family's home to watch the screening of their wedding when it went to air. I was with Melissa's family, Bryce, and some other members. Let me tell you something right now. I've never seen anybody, or as a collective, as a family, so well connected as Bryce and Melissa were. I'm telling you right now, they were super emotional with things that they were watching because they were so, in my opinion, so in love with each other.
Okay.
And here you are watching it on TV. You guys are watching it on TV, seeing all this drama unfold. But I can tell you now, I've been out with Bryce and Melissa several times since the show has gone to air. And dead set, they are 100% locked in together, trust me.
Mate, well, that's it. She's a grown woman, right? I find it condescending and disrespectful that all these women are getting online and saying, oh, that poor girl, she doesn't know what she's doing. This guy's taking advantage of her, blah, 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 putting it all on him. It's like, she's a grown woman. Yeah. You don't know what happens behind closed doors. She's even said that several times. She's like, you guys don't see what happens with us behind closed doors, and like defended him, defended their relationship. And then all these women, especially feminists, want to come out and go, oh, she's a hostage. Yeah. She needs to get out of that toxic relationship. It's like, give the woman some credit. Like, don't you think she's an adult? Like, what the hell?
There is no way Melissa is a hostage. I can assure you right now. If Melissa wants to stand up and say a piece, she will definitely stand up and say a piece because I've heard her say it. So there is nothing. All it is what you're seeing on TV is very heavily produced.
Yep.
They show you what they want to show you, and it's as simple as that. And everyone, the music, Dean. How's the music? How's the music they
makes
used?
Things 10 times more dramatic than it really was in real life.
Absolutely. Take the music away, then watch it and see how you get on.
Take the music away and the editing and cutting out the 10 other just funny little quips that happened in that conversation, and just put the one serious sort of thing that happened in that conversation and then put that music with it.
How was last night's episode where I think they showed Sam walking up towards the bar?
Yep.
I can guarantee you right now, they would have spoken to Sam earlier in the day on an interview.
100%.
They would have filled Sam in with things that have been going on with Bryce.
Yep.
And they would have gone, so tell me, what do you think, Sam? What do you think to Bryce? I'll have a word with him tonight. Goes in and starts attacking to Bryce. You know what, Bryce? I tip my hat to you, mate, for walking out, because that is the right thing to do. Yep. You separated yourself. Melissa wanted you to not get involved with stuff. You separated yourself.
Yeah. Well, the other thing, I did watch that one last night, and at the girls' night, I think it was Samantha, I think her name was, the chick in the white, whatever. Yes. She came back and had this big revelation that she wanted to, tell about Melissa about something. And it's like, look, first of all, if you do have to say that, pull her aside. Do it in private. Why do you have to do it in front of everyone and like embarrass her and make the poor girl cry? And I think it's because the producers would have told her, do it right here. No, you can't pull her aside. You have to do it. That's what they did all the time to me. You have to do it like at the commitment ceremony or in front of cameras or in front of everyone. You know, I thought that was a bit strange that they did that way. I thought that was a bit unfair.
But then 2 or 3 minutes later, you see Melissa crying next to a window, and then she walks over to her, right? And she goes, Melissa turns around and says to her, so what happened? Tell me what happened. It's just like, you can tell it's organised. From me and you, like we know that how it's operated.
Yeah, for sure.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
Man, one other thing I wanted to talk to you about is this whole word gaslighting that gets thrown around so much in the media, especially on these gossip websites and whatnot. And like, the men are always gaslighting the women. It's gaslighting. It's like, oh my God, how stupid are you? This show the concept is you get matched with someone who you might not be into at the very start, and you may not be into them at all because they're not right for you and it's just matched for TV. But then you might say, I'm not into her, I'm not happy with this, and say, I want to get out of here. Or off camera, you might be like, look, guys, I really like the person, but I'm not really vibing with her romantically, and I want to leave, I want to go home, I'm not into this. The producers, the experts, everyone will come at you and go, oh, no, you have to try and make it work. Like, we've matched you guys for a reason. Like, trust the process. Just stay another week and try and make it. And you're like, okay, like, I really don't want to be here, but, like, I'll try. And then you do that, and then everyone accuses you of gaslighting. I know you got accused of that.
I got accused of gaslighting several times when I was on the couch, and to be quite honest, I don't really know what it means. Sounds good, though. But for me, it is. You're right. You're in a position where, things are probably not working for you in the relationship, and you're saying to yourself, well, it's probably time to leave. But then the next day, you'll wake up, you'll do your wake-ups, they'll come in with a camera, big mouse over your bed. You'll end up talking about the day before, and they'll say, Steve, I think you should stay another week.
Yep.
Stay another week because it's going to work out. But then you get on the couch and you explain the situation and why things are not working out for you, and you just get smashed for gaslighting, as they say. Yeah, man, you just can't win.
You can't win. You're either gaslighting, or if you just tell the truth and say, hey, sorry, I'm not really that into you, then you're an asshole.
Which
you're
I
an
did
asshole for not liking her. Like, men just get so smashed on this show. Like, it's understandable. The show is aimed at women and housewives. But don't get me wrong, I get so many awesome, well-adjusted, strong women that contact me all the time.
100%
they understand it. So much respect for you women out there who don't fall into this bullshit and like man blaming and man hating and all this bullshit and take it for what it is. And all those other people that take it way too seriously want to call all of us names and call Bryce all these ridiculous names and accuse them of crimes and all kinds of other stuff. I would just say relax a little bit. Watch it. It's a TV show. Enjoy it. It's a bit of light entertainment. It's not all that you see on screen. There's always something more to the story. And just chill the fuck out and enjoy it.
I couldn't agree more. But look, at the end of the day, let's face it, the block will be on soon. So you can just move over to that.
There you go. Guys, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. If you got any questions for us, let us know. Steve, how can people follow you on Instagram?
Mate, Steve_Burley_.
There we go. Thanks so much for watching. Stay true. Stay you.